Hey team, and welcome back to our analysis series, where we take some time to really look at individual units. Today we're going to be talking about somebody rather important, Hector. I think I've gone a bit too far in a Hector mode Let's Play to have not talked about Hector yet, and he's a pretty interesting guy. Now this might not be the review you're expecting to see about Hector, because contrary to popular belief, he's got some flaws that make him far from the best, so be ready for that. That being said, let's dive on in. Hector is the younger brother of Uther, the Marquess of Ostia, and he's one of the two main lord options for the game. He's rather stubborn and hot-headed, but at the end of the day, he's a pretty chill guy as much as he hates to be called on it. Let's look at the truly important part about Hector though, his gameplay. Hector either joins right at the beginning or in the second chapter, depending on whether or not you play Hector or Eliwood's mode respectively. Either way, he joins more than early enough to start using him right away, but that might also be an issue for him. But I'll get to that in a second. Hector's bases are pretty solid, except for his resistance, with pretty high strength and defense right off the bat. His speed is a little low, but since FE7 enemies are so slow, it's really a non-issue. His con is pretty high, and as a result, he can use most axes without speed penalty, which is fine and all, but it also makes him very hard to rescue in a pinch. He does show up with a C rank in axes though, which is definitely a plus. As far as growths go, his are pretty darn solid. 60% in strength and 50% in defense are certainly nothing to sneeze at, and coupled with his bases, it's pretty clear that his combat is going to be pretty solid throughout the game. His speed and luck growths are kinda low, but that's honestly not a huge deal. He'll still likely gain enough of those two stats to manage. Hector does have his issues though. Again, his con might be a wee bit too high, so it's difficult to rescue him. But that's not really an issue as long as you're smart with your placement and your healing. The other two things I've got are a bit bigger. The first being, he promotes super late in the game. This might not sound awful to the players that all wait until level 20 to promote a unit anyway, but even for you guys, it's still pretty late. If you're playing on Eliwood's mode, the first Heaven Seal that you get comes in chapter 24. That's a good 13 chapters after you get him, maybe more with guidance chapters, and you'll honestly probably be using him a lot since he's a pretty decent combat unit, especially compared to the other two axe options you have at the beginning. Depending on how you use him, he might get to level 20 long before you get that Heaven Seal, and then he physically can't grow anymore for a good while. And it's even worse in Hector's own mode. In Hector mode, he doesn't promote until after chapter 29. That's like 20 plus chapters of unpromoted Hector running around. If you don't want to have multiple chapters of him being unable to grow, it's possible to moderate his experience gain to minimize this, but it really doesn't help that his very first chapter is designed for him to go all bull in a china shop and destroy everybody. The other issue is that his promotion doesn't give him any additional movement. It's not the hugest thing, but it really does inhibit his ability to move across the battlefield. So yeah, overall, Hector is pretty solid. The only thing that's really holding him back is that the plot won't let you promote him at a reasonable time, that his con is a wee bit high. I do in fact recommend using him, but as usual, the final vote is up to you. Please, in the comments, tell me how you feel about Hector. Anything I missed, your personal opinions, whatever. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, as per usual. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.